Welcome back to another video. In this video, you're gonna learn if you should use some sort of stretching, if weighted stretching is good for hypertrophy, if you should do some intra-set stretching, how you should periodize this, what if it's useful for certain individuals. That's what we're gonna talk about in this video. But as we talk about weighted stretching today, I'm gonna kind of take you through my day. It is my final exam day, which means for this semester as I finish up with my master's degree here, this is my final exam for this semester. So after this, we're off to summer vacation. And honestly, summer vacations, like when you're going through college and high school, almost tend to be worse than during the school because summer jobs tend to kind of suck, like picking corn and doing all that stuff. But this summer, I'll just be coaching. So if you're interested in coaching, but anyways, let's talk about stretching a little bit here. So there's kind of two styles of stretching. We have weighted stretching and then just like normal stretching. Are they good? Are they bad? I don't know. Let's first talk about normal stretching. AM session all done. Honestly, I'm gonna need a little more and a little bit more trained individuals to really buy in to intra-set stretching. Now, could I be wrong in the future? Potentially, but I honestly don't think that it's gonna do a whole lot, just because I think that the number one thing that we probably need for growing muscle is a tension overload on the muscle. And maybe stretching provides a little bit more tension, but I just don't see how it directly helps. Now, could it indirectly help? Like increasing range of motion or something along those lines? I also really don't think so. Like, I think you'll increase range of motion enough just through lifting weights through a full range of motion, and I think intra-set stretching might actually decrease like the stretch reflex a little bit, which might not be a great thing. So I don't think it's gonna help that much, but we'll talk about weighted stretching when I finish my exam here. You know, those people that can just kind of show up to a test and do well even without a whole lot of studying? What can I say? The final went well. So, as for like actual weighted stretching, I think that this has a lot more merit than just like intra-set stretching, because you actually get quite a bit of tension on the muscle from a weighted stretch. However, I don't think there's a very good stimulus to fatigue ratio here. For example, I think that weighted stretching, you get quite a bit of tension and damage on the muscle, but that's the thing. How much tension and stimulus do you actually get compared to how much damage you get? And I think that you probably get quite a bit of damage, but that doesn't mean that you can never use it. I just think that it might become a little bit more important to kind of periodize your use of weighted stretching. Beautiful day on campus here, walking around like an idiot, talking to my phone. But if I were to periodize a weighted stretch, how would what do I think would be smart programming wise? Well, since it's more damaging than potentially other exercises, it's probably a good idea to hold off on using a weighted stretch until later on in your training session. So maybe the last exercise for a particular muscle group in that exercise session, then you might consider doing a weighted type stretch, like an overloading stretch. Now, do you have to do this? And should you? I'm not sure if you're gonna be in any different of a spot at 4 or 5 years down the road when you compare like more traditional lifting weights through a full range of motion, getting a weighted stretch through that full range of motion compared to implementing some of these other strategies. Before I get to my final point on stretching for building muscle, I just want to say that I really appreciate you guys tuning into these. I remember when I got like 10 views per video for like my first 100 videos, and you know, I get a little bit more than that now. Now, if this video gets 10 views, I would say, hey, 10 happy customers is what I'd say. But I just want you to know that, you know, I do appreciate it. We're a small little community here, but I do appreciate it. But stretching, does it help you build muscle? My hunch is that not really much more than just traditional training through a full range of motion. I really don't think so. Especially like intra-set stretching, where you're just doing like body weight stretches in between exercises. I really don't think that's gonna have much of effect. Weighted stretching, I could see how that could place more tension on the muscle and be a different type of overload that your muscle isn't really used to and could potentially help. But consider the stimulus to fatigue ratio on those and maybe use them in an intelligent manner at the end of sessions and stuff like that. So really hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next Sunday.